Hello everyone, welcome to Community Distance Reiki. I'm Danielle Stimpson, and I am so glad to have you here with me today. If you are new here, welcome in. Feel free to click that live chat button and introduce yourself. Set any special intentions for your greater healing good. We're going to get things started off by building a beautiful crystal grid exactly to your requests. So those of you returning, thank you so much for coming back, and thank you for your ongoing support. It's wonderful to see you again. Those of you who might be watching this as a recording in the future, hello from the past. You're going to have just as much fun and healing a time as if you were here live, but if you would like to join me live, check out the days and times that I stream listed in the description below, or consider subscribing with notifications on so that you don't miss an opportunity. If you are watching this in the future, if you would like to skip ahead to just the Reiki and music, go to about the 1 hour point or where you would see the lights beginning to shift downward, and that's when we'll be getting into that. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to learn more about my live online Reiki certification courses, my community Discord, one-on-one Reiki distance sessions, tarot over Zoom, or anything else that I do, go ahead and check out learnreikiphiladelphia.com. And you can also check the description below for a link. So thanks again for being here. And we're going to go ahead and dive right into everybody's requests. Okay, great. So to start things out, I kept part of the grid together from earlier today. We had a 4 o'clock stream. And so I kept in the citrine, which helps with manifesting material abundance, good sort of financial decision making, as well as balancing logic and intuition. We also have peridot, super helpful for letting go of cycles and patterns that we kind of repeat in our lives that aren't helping us any. It also supports friendship with those people who tend to help us be our best selves. And it's also thought to be supportive of things like depression. And last but not least, we've got some pink tourmaline, which is great for hormones in general, but especially for women. This is also one that can help with neuralgia as well as migraines and improving our self-image too. So pink tourmaline. We've got this beautiful copper spiral to start breaking up the energy blockages, getting the energy to flow optimally, and the mirror behind it just helps deflect any energy that's not in our greatest good. Good friendships and trust, please. Absolutely. And good friendships, peridot is the perfect stone for that. So I'm glad it's already here for you. We have lots of it sprinkled in the center. But yeah, awesome. But we'll definitely put some more stones in there for you. Welcome in, Affirmation Station. And Blue Sky, good to see you all. Chris, great to see you. Yes, Hattie and Gertie are currently curled up too adorably under my desk. So let's start putting some of these requests out here. Physical grounding and physical balance, absolutely. Connection to the divine, we can do that too. Awesome. So let's start diving in. I will get to everybody's requests today. So where shall we start? Let's start with Chris had requested ametrine or amethyst, please. Let's put in some amethyst. Okay, so amethyst is one that can help us to, anytime we're doing self-improvement work or anything like that, we can tend to get a little down on ourselves sometimes. And this is one that kind of picks us up, dusts us off, and says, it's okay. It's okay, one step at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day. One step at a time. It's all right. You're on the right track now. And it helps us to connect spiritually, whether it's a new way of connecting spiritually or if we're say just connecting to spirit for the first time, this can be really helpful. It's also superb for personal responsibility, owning our own tasks, and not taking on responsibility for others. Also a great stone for addiction and recovery too. So we've got some amethyst there. We'll also bring in, we've got peridot. Let's bring in some hematite, iolite. There's iolite. Herkimer and Hematite. Herkimer is one of the stones that can definitely help us to ground, which was a request from Blue. I'm also going to bring in another stone for that. But yeah, Herkimer is very physically heavy. It's got a high iron content, so it's weighty. But it's brittle at the same time. This is called Hematite, so it starts with Hema, which means usually blood, and that's actually this is even written about in the Bible, that this is thought to help cleanse and purify the blood, and it was thought that because it does have that red inclusion of iron, but the weight in a way helps us to connect to the earth and allows us to let go of energy that no longer serves, which helps with good energy regulation too. So that is Hematite. Okay, so let's see. Try to balance these out now. It'll make it easier later. That looks pretty good. Okay. And we've got some iolite, which helps with opening up intuitively. It also helps with visualizing any connection to spirit. So if you're someone who is clairvoyant and you see spirit, or you have dreamlike images, this is a great stone to work with if you want to bring that about. It's also helpful for getting better sleep. And it's even thought to be helpful for weight loss. So we've got iolite here. I'm going to put that on top of amethyst. Amethyst can also be helpful if you're having trouble sleeping. Amethyst and iolite together, I'd love them together. Oh, hey, Del. Good to see you too. Okay, cool. Yeah. So much mental energy required. It leaves you feeling not embodied. I can completely understand what that's like. Yeah, it can be a little bit weird to be somewhat, it's like, wow, I've gotten so much done, but I haven't moved, and it like doesn't compute. I totally get you. Herkimer is helpful for manifesting, but in a deeply spiritual way, meaning that like when we ask the universe for what we need moving forward, we're asking for the most spiritually evolved and aligned version of what we're asking for, and we're asking that it impact everyone and everything along the way to attaining it, be impacted positively by it. And these Herkimer diamond is actually just a type of clear quartz that grows naturally, forms just like this underground in New York. And so we're going to bring this in, and also with the intention that it support some of our regulars, Susan and Greg. This can also help harmonize discordant energy. It can aid with metabolism. It helps with intuition. And it aids with being in the present moment, which is super important, especially if we're asking the universe for more. For grounding, I love red jasper. It is so helpful for so many things, but it's very empowering. It helps us to connect with our root for grounding energy, feeling connected to our physical body, how it connects to the earth, all of our basic needs and primal urges all in balance. It also can help with depression, especially if it's connected with like a long-term convalescence or healing time in your life. And it's thought by some to positively impact fertility as well. I usually think of it as an empowerment stone. It definitely helps with fighting injustice and with bullying. And to that extent, with bullying, red tigerite can be exceptionally helpful too. So let's put this in. It's like very grounding and very spiritual, this row. Okay, there we go. Okay. Fantastic. And hey. Oh, awesome. Good to see you, Patty. Absolutely. Lori, Vincent, good to see you both. I don't have topaz, unfortunately. I'm working on it. It's on the list. Ruby. Oh, I don't have kiwi jasper either. Let me know what your healing intentions are. I may have something else to jump in for it. But I definitely do have ruby. connection to the divine. We definitely have Herkimer diamond can help that. But there's other ones too. There's also, let's see. Sorry if you're hearing the horn in the background. Somebody's blocking the trolley. Oh, the life of Southwest Philly, huh? Let's see. Honey calcite. Let's bring in some honey calcite for the good friends request. Honey calcite helps us to get some support from the universe on attracting good colleagues, friends, love interests, etc. That it's all about good boundaries and like mutual respect. This is optimism in challenging times. It supports, it really supports people that are going through transitions in their lives to transition to a place that's better with better people around them. This is a stone that can balance the solar plexus, which is your sense of self, your personal will and sense of identity, and the sacral chakra, which is your center of relationships, how we relate to one another. And it can really balance the two and harmonize the two for good relationships and friendships. So we'll bring in honey calcite. It's a really optimistic stone. It's got a really beautiful, balanced energy, and I absolutely love it. We will bring in some shungite. I feel like this can also help blue as you get used to being behind a computer all day. Sometimes the actual energy of the computers can be a bit much for some of us to get used to, like being around them all the time. This is shungite. This helps with physical recovery and tissue repair, but it's great for anyone who's even the slightest bit empathic or sensitive to energy. This helps to basically pull lower vibe energy out of your energy field, but it also helps to absorb any lower energies that are kind of in the environment. This is thought to be a beautiful stone for anything like electromagnetic field related, so computers and other things around us. It can help us to feel a little bit less tired and discombobulated after having been surrounded by electromagnetic fields all day. So shungite. It's also great for emotional pain, energy blocks, and in general, just stress relief. So like, what could be bad about that? So we'll bring in some shungite. Yeah, it's a great energy purifier. Topaz for kindness. Kiwi jasper for healing and positivity. I like that. Let's do a little bit of yellow calcite for the positivity and also in general for bringing some like light out of ourselves. This is very much related to, so honey and yellow calcites, they're a little bit different. Not a ton different in terms of their tone or anything, but their energy is very different. Yellow calcite helps us to connect with the sense of joy that we have in ourselves and express that outwardly. So this can be really, really helpful for the positivity. This is a very big joy stone and can really bring in that joy. So this can be helpful for the positivity side, as can the honey calcite, but this brings up even more. For releasing negativity, there's a stone we don't often use here, and it's Zoisite. And it has a lot of different cool things about it. It's one that's great for not only releasing negativity, but releasing, like if we feel kind of stuck, like apathy, sluggishness, like we kind of just don't want to get up and go kind of thing. Zoisite can be really helpful. It can also help us to feel connected to nature and plants, as well as encouraging us to face problems and challenges that we are a little maybe procrastinating about, or maybe a little overwhelmed with the concept of actually facing things, this can be really helpful. But how it releases negativity is really powerful and supportive. So let's bring in some Zoisite. Ooh, knocking things over. And let's see what else we have. And I'll definitely keep those in mind too. Locating important things that are already yours. Absolutely. And authenticity and speaking our truth, we have in the form of blue tiger eye. This brings in calm, and it's a really good stress easer, but I like to kind of think of it in the protector of whistleblowers, but anybody who's speaking their truth. So this is just like golden tiger eye, except with blue in it, and they are so dark that sometimes it's hard to see how beautiful they are. There we go. Yeah. So this, yeah, like I said, this is speaking your truth, facts over feelings. This is the way that it is, not the way that we want it to be maybe, but it is the way that it is. And sometimes the truth tellers, we can, what's the expression? Don't shoot the messenger. Yeah, this helps with that. It's also great for writing, public speaking, and communicating clearly what needs to be brought through. But yeah, bold communication. So definitely this. It's definitely helpful for writing. I have a blue tiger eye bracelet that I wear when I'm working on student manuals and writing copy for my website. It really, really helps. It's an excellent stone for writers. Hope that helps, Del. Divine guidance and balance. Absolutely. So it sounds like you and Affirmation Station have a commonality there with connection to spirit. So I'm going to bring in some chevron amethyst. This helps us to connect to spirit and be heard, and helps us to hear spirit in response. This can help with manifesting, but also just feeling that divine connection. It can also help with channeling, shamanic journeying, any kind of visionary work, or gaining insights on part of someone else's work as well. It's also thought to help with tolerance, including things that maybe don't sit right with us personally, and degenerative disorders, whether it's orthopedic, neurologic, whatever the case may be, anything that's degenerative over time, this can be helpful for. So this definitely will connect powerfully with spirit too. So let's go ahead and put these here. Awesome. Let's also bring in some Moonstone, Pyrite, and Sapphire. Yeah, let's bring that in. Okay, cool. So Moonstone can help us to connect with the cycles and patterns and rhythms of nature. This is very much connected with the moon, which controls the tides. So it's very connected with that ebb and flow of the universe. It's also one that helps us to connect with ancient wisdom and divine timing and trusting divine timing. It helps us if we're learning old or time-honored wisdom, older styles of healing, older spirituality, things like that. It's protective of travelers, and it's also a wonderful way to keep plugged in with the divine feminine. So we'll bring in some Moonstone. Let's do this so that we can see that beautiful blue tiger eye come out a little bit. Pyrite helps us to connect intuitively while also remaining protected spiritually. This is also a stone that helps us to call on financial abundance. It's thought that, fool's gold brings the real gold. So pyrite is absolutely fool's gold. It also helps the brain and memory, and it's thought to support folks who might be getting radiation treatments it's thought to help keep side effects at bay. So pyrite. Hey, Korakar, welcome in. Let's also bring in some sapphire. This is for folks that want to be connected to spirit. This is another great one. This helps us to take that channel that we feel to spirit and greatly deepen the connection. Also helps those of us who get intuitive guidance on part of other people to, in a way, translate it better. It's also thought to help speedy justice. So again, bringing to mind Susan and Greg. And it's thought to help the ears, the eyes, and the thyroid as well. This is definitely one that can help channel angelic healing energy too. So if you work with any angelic healing, like integrated energy therapy, like I also do, this can be a really helpful stone. So that's blue sapphire. Can be very ungrounding. So heads up on that. That's why I'm putting it near grounding stones. Love, all types, support, joy, divine guidance, and balance. I love it. Let's bring in some snowflake obsidian. This brings in a lot of serenity, like a lot of body, mind, spirit, connection, and balance. But also a lot of hope after loss. So this is like a serenity and peace stone, but it also helps us go to the root of what might be going on that's causing any imbalance too. So it can be a great stone for doing any kind of shadow work or doing work on ourselves. It also helps to calm overstimulation. It helps with seeing our patterns and finding a new way to reprogram that. And if you're struggling with feelings around guilt, this can be a really helpful stone as well. So snowflake obsidian, this brings a lot of balance in. Let's do that here. Okay, and I kind of want to bring in some rose quartz. This helps us to bring in a lot of unconditional love energy in a way that can almost recalibrate us to feeling like it's easier to let go of what doesn't serve and what's sort of low vibe, because this reminds us that there's something better around to absorb, to take in, to replace what we're letting go of. So I'm going to bring this in and I'm going to put it under the snowflake obsidian. There we go. And Larimar, absolutely. Hey, Heart, good to see you. Ancestors and descendants. I love that. Black onyx is great for connecting with our ancestors. It's also superb for moving through grief, grounding fear and anxiety, and helping to relieve self-doubt. It's very protective energetically and spiritually as well. But yeah, a great self-esteem stone. So let's bring this in, because I think that this will help what Dell was asking for. And Larimar, absolutely. Insecurity, healing old wounds. Rhodonite can be quite helpful for insecurities. So we're going to bring that in. I'm going to bring in Larimar too. But yeah, Rhodonite, great for healing any kind of heart stuff, as far as not physical heart, but more the, this is really thought of as like a breakup stone, or even grief and loss in like a splitting up or a passing away of a partner or loved one. But this is definitely a broken heart stone. It also helps with allergies and autoimmune issues, but it's also thought to be great for insecurities, recovering from like being belittled, and even on the most extreme for emotional abuse. This can help with that to some extent. It also helps to balance the yin and yang within the body. So that's Rhodonite. Larimar helps with spiritual purpose and finding your own way to forge ahead with your spiritual purpose, especially when it doesn't look like anyone else's way. So definitely spiritual confidence in that sense. This also helps you to kind of innovate and be a little bit of a pioneer when it comes to sharing spirituality or energy healing or anything in line with your soul's purpose. And it also helps to separate the ego from the self. So let's go ahead and put that here and here. So that's Larimar. And we'll put one in the center too. We have rutilated quartz. This is clear quartz with these rutils going through it. And this is thought to help take the energy and focus it exactly where it needs to go. That helps our mind to focus. That helps our body to focus on the healing that's most important. And this is often thought of as a beautiful gift for anyone that's going through cancer treatments, as it's thought to help direct the healing exactly where it needs to go. This is also a stone that's thought to help energy within the body, like give us more energy, especially if we're really run down. So as such, it can also be helpful for anyone dealing with cancer treatments in that way. So rutilated quartz, lots of love on our mind for Korakar's stepdad. We have pyrite and citrine with her mom in mind. There you go. Okay, great. Oh, awesome. Preemptive both, absolutely. Success in art, painting, illustration, digital, traditional, completion of creative tasks. Gotcha. I'm going to bring in carnelian. Great for anything creative. This works with the sacral chakra, which also governs sexuality, so sexual function, dysfunction, romance too. This can also help you call in a romantic partner, as can Moonstone, which is there. This helps with relationships in all ways that we get along with other people, so even friendships. So this can absolutely help some other requests we've had tonight. This helps with getting out of our own way with apathy and laziness. This can kind of put a little bit more of a fire within us, but definitely very helpful for creativity. And I'm also going to bring in some sodalite. As well as aventurine. Sodalite helps with expressing. So this will also help Delle's request to some extent. This is one that allows us to express and communicate, and can also support the ways in which creativity comes up, but then how do we express it? Sodalite helps us to express that creative vibe and movement, whether it's painting, drawing, writing, dancing, sculpting, whatever it might be, however it might come about for you. This helps you express the creative vibe. So we'll put this in here too. We also have aventurine, which helps with learning new skills, especially computer skills, which can be really helpful if you're learning digital illustration and things. But it's also great for expanding our vision of what we're capable of, as well as helping the eyes and even to some extent heart rhythms too. So that is aventurine, green aventurine. There we go. Okay. And for insecurity, not feeling included, and healing old wounds. Definitely rhodonite, but there's some other ones too. Keep coming back to the idea of bloodstone coming in. So that's what I'm going to bring in. Bloodstone it also goes by the name heliotrope, but this is one that can be superb for emotional despair and perseverance. It helps to relieve self-doubt. It quiets the mind. It can really give quite a bit of emotional stamina if you're going through a long-term, intense emotional sort of thing. It's deep green with hints of red in it, and it's even good for things that impact us emotionally, that really shift even our sense of security and stability within the world. So this can be really helpful at times of loss and grief, but it can also be helpful at times of feeling left out, feeling disconnected, not included, things like that. But yeah, it helps to relieve self-doubt too. So let's do... There we go. definitely for spinal stenosis. The degenerative stuff, that can be helped with chevron amethyst, but when it comes to the spine and spinal nerves, we have amazonite. This can also be really calming. It helps remind people who are a little less inclined to take care of themselves to do that. The green. Bloodstone also goes by heliotrope, was the deep, deep green. And now this is aventurine. The aventurine is, like I was saying, spinal nerves, self-care for those of us who tend to focus on taking care of others and not taking care of ourselves. It can also be really just calming in general, so aventurine for sure. But yeah, bloodstone, which also goes by heliotrope, is good for, I like to think of it as an emotional stuff hits the fan stone too. Bloodstone and green onyx are like my emotional uh-oh stones. Same with blue calcite too. You're welcome. We've also got let's do some blue kyanite. Aqua aura. Yeah, let's bring that in. So blue kyanite can help us with self-acceptance to the point of like, this is me, this is who I am, I'm proud of who I am. Like, we really need more of that. Like, we really do. It's also really helpful with understanding spiritual messages. So, blue kyanite. This can also be helpful for neurological care, especially if it impacts mobility or speech. This is thought to be helpful. Aqua aura is thought to help with things like depression and seasonal affective disorder. It's actually clear quartz that's been processed using gold, which gives it this beautiful blue hue. And I am so not the med shamer at all. I struggle with depression. This helps. Reiki helps. Meditation helps. Antidepressants help. All the things help. So do all the things that work for you, and we're here to support you in a whole different way too. But this is a beautiful one, and here you go, Chris, per your request. We'll have some aqua aura. And aragonite with blue Caribbean calcite. This helps the Earth Star chakra, which is beneath our root, to connect and be engaged, which allows us to walk the walk of our spiritual soul's purpose. And it balances it with the soul star, which is above the crown, which is our envisioning of our potential. So between envisioning and potential and actually acting on it, this can help you do both in harmony, which is super powerful. It also helps to balance a lot of the energy centers between those two extremes. So the kundalini coiled at the base of the spine, this can help that to move more easily. So this is aragonite and Caribbean blue calcite. It's actually two different types of calcite in the same specimen. Ah, gotcha. also want to bring in, I know Vincent earlier, there was a request for joints and knees, and I brought in howlite, and I want to bring that in again. This is great for bones and the skeletal system in general, but especially the joints, all the joints. I struggle with bone density and bone health and all of that, and calcium absorption. This is very much thought to be in alignment with that. It's also an excellent stone to work with if you're struggling with anger, with resentment, with frustration. This helps you to kind of bring the intensity down a little bit so you can see the situation and see what changes could be made, if any, so that you don't have to suffer with those really intense feelings that are meant to help us make things better, but often can be a bit volatile and hard to control. There we go. Oh, Dell, I absolutely love this. To have compassion or Ubuntu for those we find difficult, whether it be loved ones, acquaintances, strangers, sentient beings seen and unseen. I love that, and it's totally hard to do sometimes. And for those of you who are like, what is Ubuntu? There is actually a great podcast on it that was on like a couple of weeks ago on It Could Happen Here on Ubuntu. But yeah, it's an African philosophy. It's a beautiful philosophy too. But yeah, so let's bring in something that helps us have that compassion even when it's difficult. A couple of stones on the grid that already help are chevron amethyst for sure, as well as howlite. But we also have dumortierite can be really helpful. This is another one that helps a lot with anger, but it also aids with quite a bit of patience. It can help you to stand up for yourself even in situations that seem kind of hopeless or that don't seem to have a real remedy to them. And it's great for Uranus type energy, which is to say chaotic type energy. But this one is one that can help us to cultivate a sense of patience. This one snuck over here. There we go. We can put dumortierite here and here. I would also say angelite can probably help that. Angelite can probably help that. This is very connected with angelic support, being in connection with the angelic realm. So this could be very helpful of that. It really does help us to advance our spiritual connection and see things through the heavens looking down if we need to. So we'll go ahead and we'll bring this in too. So that's angelite. Aw, thank you, Chris. Yes, white howlite is right here. Yep. Helps with anger, resentment, frustration, as well as joints and bones and bone health. Yeah. Oh, and all the love everybody's showing everyone else in the chat. This is what makes me excited to do this. I absolutely love this. And I love all of you for being here. So let's see. I'm going to take one more peek. I think we're about at that time where I'm going to start peeking through the stones to see what complements this grid. So for those of you who might be new here, I take a peek at the grid and all of the requests that everyone has made. And now I'll pick a couple of stones I think might make good additions, and you all will get to vote on them before we get into the healing portion of things. So give me a moment to kind of like reflect, take it in, and pick a couple of stones. For those of you who have not been here before, you're not limited to just one vote. Hint, hint, so no stress. And yeah, give me just a moment to kind of take it in here. Yeah, if you're new here, go ahead and take a peek in the chat. You'll see exactly how the vote goes. I think I got the perfect choice. Okay. So the first is Fuchsite, which a lot of us have kind of been enjoying recently. I didn't request this stone. It showed up in place of something else, and someone requested it, and here we had it, and I hadn't used it before, and it's pretty special. But yeah, Fuchsite helps to first of all, strengthen the vibe of other stones and the strength and the healing capacity of the other stones. But more than anything, it's joy, it's fun, it's a reminder for self-care. It encourages fun and joy. And more than anything, I'm seeing repeated in the chat is balance and joy. This one would be for joy. Definitely joy. It also helps with spinal alignment and sleep disturbances. So that's Fuchsite. The other is another one we've used here. This is a clear crystal bead that is hand carved that has the two fish in it. And I'll see if I can get you can see the scales there. Pardon my terribly bitten up fingers. Working on that. But yeah, it's thought that the symbol of the two fish the joy of the union of yin and yang. This is a very powerful symbolism in China and in Japan. The yin-yang symbol, that is meant to denote movement. It's not meant to be a picture. If you look at it, you could almost see the eye of one fish and the eye of the other fish, and they're swimming around each other. Yeah, it's about movement. It's about keeping chi moving. It's about balance. The joy of the union of yin and yang, and just a balance of one and the other. Masculine, feminine, darkness, light, all of those different things. It's balance and movement. So we can have that carved bead, the Fuchsite, or both. Herkimer's already in there, JS. And also Fuchsite is in there because you had requested it, I think. Was it you or was it Belinda Wade, or was it both of you? But yeah, Herkimer is in there. Finding right path in life, calling in what is for me and the highest good. Definitely Herkimer there. Definitely chevron amethyst. Right path in life. Larimar is there. And I'm also going to bring in, let's bring in some chrysocolla. This helps us with following your spiritual purpose, like finding it and feeling encouraged along that path, and also for making decisions in alignment with your greater good. So that is chrysocolla. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think it was Belinda then that called in Fuchsite. So this is chrysocolla, and I'll put that in for you. Actually, we'll put some here. We'll put some there. There we go. So go ahead and vote for Fuchsite or the clear quartz or what you see everyone else voting for. There is stillness in movement and sound in silence. You're absolutely right. And this would represent all of that. So go ahead and vote. I'm going to quickly explain what Reiki is and a little bit of what to expect for anyone who's new. And then we're going to get into the healing. So if you need to take a potty break or anything, right now is the perfect time. So as I mentioned at the top of the hour, my name's Danielle Stimpson. I'm the owner of Learn Reiki Philadelphia. I am so glad that you are here with me today. If you'd like to learn more about me, my live online Reiki certification classes, to schedule a one-on-one distance healing session or tarot reading, or to shop my crystal collection, you can visit learnreikiphiladelphia.com or check out the links in the description, where you can also find links for my email newsletter, social media, and all that good stuff. So what is Reiki? Well, the style of Reiki I work with most is known as Usui Reiki, and it's named after this tradition's founder, who created this method in the early 1920s Japan. Is a very modern take on very classical, traditional practices of using earth energy to help support the healing of yourself and of others. So what is energy? Well, the best way to kind of describe that is to use to look at the concept of Shintoism, which is the indigenous spirituality of Japan, in which everything, not just people, but everything has a soul. And all of these souls are interconnected. And within this interconnection, there are additional spiritual forces at play, one of which is a spiritually guided soul energy or life force energy. And that's roughly how Reiki translates in the West. Now, Reiki in this particular method that Usui created is very much a modern take, and it is really resonated with those of us in the West because it is deeply spiritual, yet very secular. And isn't that kind of exactly how we tend to be? So, yeah. Spiritual yet secular. The energy itself is that Reiki, that spiritually guided soul energy. And it's thought that through this interconnectedness of all things, this energy flows. And essentially, it's already flowing through you, through me, through everyone and everything, whether we're consciously aware of it or culturally aware of it or not. It's there. This energy is thought to help support our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being, in that our body kind of absorbs it and takes it in and uses it to the best ability to support all of those things. So during your session, you may feel some physical sensations. You may have some feelings come up or be released. You may have just a really great time to mentally parse some things out that you've needed to think through, or get some clarity, or even hear your subconscious speak to you. You may also have a really spiritual experience where you get some epiphany or some clarity or a sudden burst of wisdom and help and assistance in some way that you've been asking for. You may also have a really relaxing time and take a great nap, and it's probably going to be a combination of some semblance of all of those things. Each session is completely unique, no matter how many times you get Reiki. And essentially, I'll do that by connecting to that energy force that's already flowing through all of us and directing more of that energy to support your body, mind, and soul to do what it's already doing to support you. You can set an intention for your healing at any point, but you don't have to have one either. If you do want to set any additional intentions, and you can't have too many, just go ahead and bring it to mind, think about it for a moment, and let it go. During the session, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to focus on anything. You don't need to keep your mind silent. You can just be. If you find yourself napping, awesome. If you or sitting up, lying down, I usually encourage you to find the most comfortable position you can. So sitting up, lying down, whatever works for you, you can just exist and be, but you can also incorporate this time with anything else that feels important to you, like journaling or a few yoga stretches or anything else for that matter. You can whip up a couple of cards for yourself, or you can play a little music, whatever feels right for you. This is a time for your healing, well-being, and self-care. I will send Reiki to all of you for 25 minutes, during which I'll turn the music up. If you want to learn more about our musical creator, check out the very bottom of the description where you can learn about the link to her channel. And I will also turn down the lights. You'll notice that they'll move slowly and evenly from one color to the next. They will not flash or strobe. After the 25-minute session, I will come back in. You'll hear my voice come in. I'll encourage you to take a deep breath in and out. And then I'll reopen the chat to answer any questions you might have, to hear any impressions you may have gleaned. If you feel inclined to share them with us, I'll be here to hear that. And from there, we'll go on and have a wonderful rest of our evening or morning, wherever we happen to be in the world. If you are in the future watching this on a recording, hello from the past, you can enjoy this healing just as much. We are all interconnected, so it doesn't matter where you are in relation to me or when you are in relation to me. And for those of you who are here, if you find that you need a little bit of Reiki and I'm not live, I'm live 5 times a week. Days and times are listed in the description. If I'm not live, go ahead and check out the past healing live streams playlist. Pick one from the picture on the thumbnail of the crystal grid, see which one feels like it fits for you, and you can either watch the whole thing or zip right ahead to the healing, and you can enjoy as much or as little as you want. And thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to have you here. So if you wouldn't mind clicking that like button or clicking the subscribe button or both, it means a lot and I really appreciate it. So thank you for being here today. I hope that you enjoy your session. And let's see what won that vote. Oh, it's both. Oh, gee. How did that happen? That always happens. All right, so go ahead and get to that comfy position, whatever works for you. You don't have to sit still. You can move around if you want. I'm going to place this here. I'm going to take the Fuchsite and put it right there. That feels perfect. Yeah, so everybody go ahead, get nice and relaxed. Thank you for being here and enjoy your session. I invite you now to take a deep breath in and out. Slowly come back to your body. Let Hattie's little purrs help you come back. Thank you so much for being here. It's an honor and a pleasure. Thank you so much, Del. Really appreciate you. Oh, hey, it's Hattie looking at me. You're so welcome, ABC. It was so good to see you pop in. You're welcome, Chris. All the best to you and your family. Hey, do you want to come up and see everybody? You all are so welcome. Hold on to your ears. Hang on one sec. Okay. I will be around this weekend, Heart, so I'll be able to get in touch with you tomorrow. It's just been a wild week. Yeah, you just want to get held? That sounds good. You're welcome, Vincent. Yeah. You want to say hi to everybody? Yeah. You want to go chill with your sister? You want to hang out on my lap? Totally up to you. Yeah. So, as usual... Sorry about that. As usual, I will be back Sunday at 8 p.m. Hope to see y'all there. And this weekend, I'm going to be working a little bit on the tarot for all 12 signs for April. So definitely look out for those coming at you at some point, probably next week. And if you are interested in beginning or continuing your Reiki journey, Reiki 1 and 2 classes for April are enrolling now. There's limited space because each class is kept really small. And you can learn more at learnreikiphiladelphia.com. So awesome to have you all here with me today. Aw, I'm so glad, Lori. I'm so glad that this helps you. I'm so glad this helps you wind down the week and begin your weekend. And I hope you all have lots of rest and good times. I know tomorrow's going to be a little rainy, but it'll still be warmer. So there's that. But I hope everyone has a beautiful weekend. And I certainly will be here for you at the end of it to get you ready for your work week. So I'm going to go ahead and remind anyone who hasn't hit the like button to go ahead and consider doing so. And I'll be back Sunday at 8 p.m., Tuesday, 8 p.m., Wednesday, 4 p.m., and every Friday, 4 and 8 p.m. Thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful weekend. And again, Reiki 1 and 2 for next month are enrolling now. And the Crystal Shop is up and running. If you ordered during my sale, thank you. Your orders will be going out very shortly. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Take care of yourselves and bye for now.